DC Beats.
Look, I'm a trip, so I'll pay for the bag. The trips in the ceiling, coop me and taking.
Yo, what's up, my ballers? I'm here today with Raheem, and we're joined by Cameron Fong. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone and tell them a little bit about your story?
Yeah, of course. So I'm currently playing for APIA Leichhardt Tigers in the NPL in first grade. I started my football journey, I guess, kind of like locally, obviously, and then quickly progressed. Like after a couple years there, it was actually before SAP, so it was called. I'm not sure if you heard of it, but it was called Project 22.
Yeah, I've heard
So
of that.
yeah, they used to have it like instead of SAP. So
Yeah.
essentially they were trying to prepare like players because Australia was going to put in a bid for the 2022 World Cup.
Yeah.
So they were trying to like prepare players around that age of the World Cup. So that was before SAP. So I went there for a couple years. And then after there, kind of split into like SAP.
Yeah.
So I went to my local team, which was the now called NWS Spirit.
Oh yeah, you play for Spirit.
Yeah, I was playing for Spirit. So I played there when I was like 10, 11.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went to, it's another old thing. It was before the A-League Academies. So it was called Football New South Wales Institute.
Yeah.
So I was there for a couple years. And then when the Academies were created, I spent my time at Sydney FC.
Yeah.
So I was there when I was 15 up until I was 21. And then, yeah, more recently, obviously now I'm at APIA.
Yeah.
And last year, I was at St. George City.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's a bit of my journey.
You are like
Crazy career.
pure pinnacle or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
How did you find like the academy system, like because you've obviously come through like very early age and been like at a very high level since like the very beginning?
Yeah.
How was that? How was the training and stuff like that compared to, I guess, your teams now?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's probably, I was at the academy since I was 15 up until I was 21. So
Wow.
I think it's a bit hard for me to like, I guess, compare because I never really had like an NPL experience
that's
up
true.
until like last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like honestly, I love my time there.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, like you got to work with, I guess, kind of the best,
Yeah.
the best coaches. You're training with the best players every day.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things I enjoyed most there was definitely the training. Like every session was intense.
How often were you guys training?
It kind of depended on when our game was. We averaged around like four mornings a week.
Okay. Well.
But yeah, no, I honestly love training there. Like there were plenty of small-sided games. None of that kind of like tactical stuff. They kind of just let us play.
Yeah.
Just getting minutes on the ball. and
Yeah,
stuff like
exactly.
that.
Yeah, and it was good because like all the boys wanted to be there. Obviously, everyone wants to be a
Everybody's
pro.
fighting for a pro.
Yeah, exactly. So the coaches didn't really have to drive the standards that much. Just I think
Everyone had the fire.
yeah, I think everyone had that fire in their belly. Everyone wants to improve and get a contract. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed my time there. Yeah.
How do you find the commitment between like professional, like A-League academies compared to NPL 1 in terms of like the players kind of using their own initiative and like the quality of training and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it kind of comes like easier than you think because I think especially when a player comes from an NPL team and then they come to Sydney FC, they see the level of intensity, the difference between the NPL and the A-League. And obviously they want to play and these are the boys you're competing with, right? So I think they kind of also like flick a switch like, oh, like I've got to work my ass off to play and because ultimately like all the boys that you're training with, you're competing with them too.
Oh,
so
good.
I think it's a good environment.
Yeah.
And I had a good experience there. And I think it kind of showed because the time I was there, a lot of boys now are playing at like the A-League level
Like
or higher.
You played with like Iliad Adamson.
Yeah.
Gibson.
Yeah. Even like a lot of the boys at Sydney now
Yeah.
are from the academy, and even like at Wanderers, like Oscar Priestman, Zach Sapsford, Aiden Simmons, like.
So with the academy system, they actually help. They promote the kids, the graduates.
I think I feel like it's kind of changed. I think now Sydney FC have a very like they're promoting a lot of youth now. Maybe back in the day, like they had a very successful team. So
it was
I think
harder.
I think I guess that bridge to the A League was a bit harder to cross.
Yeah.
I guess it's just dynamic, right? It's like if you're better than the person in your spot, you take that spot.
I think I've seen that a lot. There's a lot of trend right now. Like a lot of the A League team have at least a couple of teenagers coming from the academy.
Prospects,
100%. Yeah, I think even now, like the academies or just the youth in general, like there's a lot of players playing good minutes in the A League, like young players. And also, like, I don't know if you recently saw like the under 20s Australian.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah, they
what
won
an
the
achievement.
they won the Asian Cup. So I think like those academy systems and all the development is kind of like coming
paying
into
off.
It's
fruition.
actually working now.
So I think in the next like 5-10 years, pretty like exciting time for Australian football. Yeah,
I agree. I definitely agree. So, who were the most influential coaches and mentors in your development, and what key lessons did they teach you?
I think I had a few. One that comes to mind was one like in my early days.
Yeah.
So when I was at before the academy, I was at like Football New South Wales Institute.
Yeah.
So I was there when I was 12. And that was like when I look back, it was very professional. Like it kind of drilled in good habits for me that I still carry on like to this day.
Yeah.
There was like little stuff, like even when we got to the game, like we all had to like line our bags up like in a straight line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously at the time it's like, oh, like what is this? It's stupid. But I think little stuff like that has made a big impact on like my career and then also the boys that were there too.
I think a lot of people, like a lot of kids, they don't really understand the importance of discipline.
Yeah.
Especially like you come into the change room, you're not even switch on. A lot of players, they just I'm not gonna mention the club, but the players at this club where I was playing for, it was a big team, but like they were not disciplined.
Yeah.
They were not listening to the coach's instruction. They all thought that what the coach was saying, what the coach was telling them, like the simple stuff you were saying, just like lining up your bags, like was nothing.
Yeah.
But like before we go to the game, if you're not disciplined in the change room, what makes you think you're gonna be disciplined on the field?
100%.
You don't want to be starting to like lose the first 20 minutes of the game because you're not switched on, and then you're 2-0 down at halftime.
A coach told me once, like the game starts before you even step on the field.
100%, it does. Yeah. How's your time been at like an A-League academy? I guess like apart from the training and stuff like that, what else was kind of very impactful to you?
Yeah, I think like one is the competitiveness.
Yeah.
Like obviously, I think now I can say for like I know at Sydney FC, I'm sure other academies too, but they're really pushing players to play like up in age.
Yeah.
Like their first grade team last year and even this year, like they're like 16 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess they're really pushing players to play at a higher level. And yeah, so I think every day, I guess you got to be on it.
You got to be on your...
Yeah,
Basically
100%.
getting challenged every day.
Yeah. But also I think what also comes with that is like your ability to like overcome setbacks, so like your resilience. So they always talked about that at the academy, like, if someone's ahead of you, maybe they're playing 20s and you're playing your own age group in 18s or something, you kind of just got to like stay locked in and keep
you can't let the setbacks.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like from my own experience, even like I had when I was 20, I did my knee. So I did my ACL. So and that was like kind of, I felt like was at a pivotal time of my career because I was pushing to get into the NPL team, like pushing for minutes. So I thought, I have like a good season in NPL, and then after that, like never know what happens. So yeah, that was a big one for me. Like from my experience at the academy.
Was that when Sydney FC at that time, they were coming first in the ladder, weren't they?
It was in 2021.
2021.
Yeah, so I missed the whole like of the 2022
that
season.
Team,
that was the team. Yeah, I think that was when Keely came in. That was his first year.
That team was strong. That first grade NPL team.
Yeah.
I
Like
think
a
they
lot of
won
them.
the FA Cup. No, was that?
The Australia Cup?
Yeah, the Australian Cup.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of them now, like in that NPL team, a lot of them are at A-League academies, or in the A-League, sorry. So
sorry about that, bro.
but I think like overcoming that,
Yeah.
getting back playing.
Now you're playing APIA, which is
yeah.
just as good, you know?
Yeah, so that was probably like the hardest moment in my career.
Yeah.
But it was definitely like once I got through it, especially last year, like I was able to play most games 90 minutes.
What was your mentality coming out of that injury and I guess kind of trying to push to get back into it?
Yeah. Well, I think to an extent, like I had it a bit easier. Like I know people that have had injuries to their knee and they're like at an NPL level. So I guess it kind of depends on them. But I think I was surrounded by a lot of good people. And also because I was at Sydney, like we had good physios, had like a good program, a good structure. So I think the hardest part was like before I got the surgery because I'd never had like surgery before. So it was a bit like, didn't know how it's going. Yeah. Just that period between the surgery and then
when they roll you into the room, and then they leave you at the door.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Something that, you know, pretty much every footballer goes through.
That is so scary.
Yeah. So then after I got the surgery, I think it was much better because I found that every day I was getting better.
Yeah.
And obviously I had the ultimate goal. Like I still wanted to earn a professional contract. So I knew I had to come back. And then at that age, I'd be like 21. So I had to, I guess I kind of had to move quickly because I knew, you know, like I'm not always going to be this young. I can't stay at the academy for that much longer. So that was kind of my goal at the time. Yeah.
And you're still aiming to go professional, obviously, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think like still young. Like I only just turned 23.
You're still in your prime, bro.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to focus on just trying to focus on like playing as much as possible and playing well. Because there's been, I think last season there was a few like quite a handful of NPL players going to the A League. So I guess it kind of does prove like, you know, if you work hard. Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the system is improving, but there's just a lot of more stuff that needs improving.
Yeah, 100%. I think with that, like the Australian Championship coming too, I think that'll, I guess, help kind of bridge the gap between the NPL and the A League because I still think it's quite
close.
Quite big, yeah.
How do you handle pressure? Like, you know, coming in those those big games and stuff?
Yeah, 100%. I think I kind of, I guess, kind of trust the process, trust my ability. Like every day I work, you know, to perform on the pitch. So I think stuff that does help me is like, you know, getting good sleep, focusing on recovery. Like I'd like to do little stuff like, you know, go in the sauna, go into the gym. That side kind of stuff helps me. And then also on game day, I'll kind of stick to the same schedule. Like I find that helps best. Like, so like my meal times, like what I eat, that kind of stuff. So I know, you know, when I go out on the pitch, I've done everything I can in my power to.
Sorry. Remember when you were talking about like keeping that routine, there was a player.
Yeah.
He had a very good game. And because he had a very good game, he wore the same undies.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
He thought those undies were good luck. So sorry.
I mean, if it works, it works. I'd probably do the same.
So you said that you do like sauna, go to sleep, like at a good time and stuff like that. Is that something that you learned from like the academy system, or is that like something that the coaches like, you know, encourage you guys to do?
Yeah, I guess at the academy, like, we had, we'd come in for like gym in the morning.
Yeah.
But it's funny because none of the boys really wanted to go that hard because you'd have to train after. And obviously you don't want to be heavy at training. So I kind of did my own stuff like after training. But I just like to do it just because, you know, I just think it's that little 1% that can give me that edge on the weekend.
100%.
And like, I want to feel good on the weekend. So
just take all the little extra 1%ers and just add it up and hopefully it makes a difference.
Yeah, 100%.
No,
so what role do agents, scouts and networking play in helping players progress to professional opportunities? Yeah.
I think, well, at my experience at the academy, they kind of told us to like stay away from agents. I think at that, like especially at the younger age groups, because I think like you hear a lot of bad stories about, you know, like dodgy agents and stuff like that. So I think at the younger ages, I think it's best to just like, you know, work on your craft. Train, that sort of stuff.
Is that how you got seen at a young age?
Yeah, I think I was around like 11 and then I didn't I think they used to have like gala days.
Yeah.
For like the SAP, like end of year stuff. And then I guess if you perform well there, then I went on trial at like the Football New South Wales Institute.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, like, it kind of all fell in place for me because after Institute split up, it became like Sydney FC and Wanderers. So most of the boys either went to one or the other.
I see.
Yeah. So for me, I guess that kind of fell into place. But obviously I had to perform when it mattered, I guess. But then I guess when you progress to the older ages, like when you're pushing, like knocking on the door of A-League, I think there definitely are some, like you get more agents, I guess, approaching you. Like I saw the recent episode of you guys talking about like the transfer market and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that when you're on there, then you'll get more
recognition.
Yeah, a bit more. But I think, I don't know, like I know with the A-League, a lot of there's only a few agents and they have a lot of players in the A-League.
Oh.
So I think, you know, when an agent approaches you, you kind of have that word of mouth with the other players, like, oh, is this guy good? Is he reliable? That sort of stuff. But yeah, me personally, like I never had an agent. But even like with my last move from St. George to APIA, it was kind of just through a connection.
I see.
Like one of the boys at St. George just put me in contact with someone and then it kind of worked out like that. So I think that's been an advantage of me after I've left the academy. Like you're playing with, it was very different because you're playing with older boys, you're training in the evening. So it was a big switch, but I guess it kind of opened new doors and more opportunities. So I think that's been the major difference of from NPL to A-League. And then also like making use of those connections and stuff.
Do you think that it's important, like, I guess the older boys in the team, like, do you think it's an important thing for the older boys to take like the younger boys or boys coming through the academies under their wing and sort of guide them and stuff like that? Did you have anyone like that?
Yeah. Are you talking about like at the academy?
Just in your career in general?
Yeah, I think it's funny because like when you're at the academy, right, and you're coming through, like if you start training with A-League, to an extent, like they will help you out. But then at the end of the day, like you're kind of training to take their spot, I think, like take their contract. So they definitely, like from my experience, they definitely don't take it easy on you.
Okay.
But yeah, I think specifically when I did my knee, like I had it around the time that, you know, Luke Braddon, who's at MacArthur now, but he was at Sydney at the time. And he also like recently did his knee just before me.
Oh, wow.
And I was kind of up with the A-League, like here and there, just before I did it. So he reached out to me when I did my knee, and we kind of went through the same process because of the timing. But he was a big help in
kind of going through it with somebody else.
Yeah,
that's,
exactly.
You know, in the same shoes as you.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, nice. No,
so what mistakes do a lot of academy players do that hold them back? From your experience.
Yeah, I think like when you're at an academy, I think maybe more case like with the younger boys, but I feel like some of them maybe think they already made it. Which is like not a good mindset to have. I think at Sydney FC, they kind of picked, or they kind of guided us and educated us to off the pitch to have like good mentality and not think that way. I think something they used was like when you're at the younger ages, it's kind of like a funnel. So when you're at the younger ages, you know, you got a lot of boys that are playing like academy. And then it kind of, as you get older, the funnel kind of shrinks. When you get to like 16s, 18s, 20s, first grade, there's only so many spots. So at the same time, I think when I was at the academy, like a lot of boys most of the boys around me were pretty like switched on and they're all trying to get to that next level.
That's why your environment matters.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Because I think, when being at the academy in that environment, I think kind of helped me. It all almost was as if it was kind of seamless. Like, you know, I had good people around me, good coaches.
That's how it is, man. You got everyone around you training hard, 100% every single day. You just know that you have to keep going.
So much more encouraging and stuff like that. Yeah. I guess I wanted to ask, what are the key like technical and technical qualities that separate academy players from NPL players of the same age?
Yeah, I think just the intensity first thing.
Do you like definitely feel like there's a difference in the intensity?
The intensity at like training definitely. Because the academy, like everyone wants a proof point, everyone wants to get a contract. So like the trainings are intense. I guess we didn't really do much like tactical stuff. I guess as you get closer to like first grade NPL, then maybe might tweak little stuff. But I know at Sydney in particular, like they like to play with like a specific DNA. So stuff like give and goes, overlaps, all that stuff. They drill it into. I hate
versing academy teams for that reason.
Yeah,
because you guys do the simplest things.
Yeah.
Like I was at Rockdale and you guys like I'll be like pumped to verse shoes.
Yeah,
I'll be pumped. I'm like I'm gonna get this guy today. But before I even get to that guy, he already passed the ball and make a run.
Yeah.
That pisses me off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think another thing too is like kind of what you said before, like when you're at the academy and when NPL teams play you, they lift like they lift another level.
Exactly. Trying to prove. They're also trying to break through that.
They want your spot. They want to impress. So I think kind of I guess works.
So every game for you guys is just always. Would you say it's tough?
Like I think generally like I feel like the other teams will lift another level, like when they're coming up against you. Yeah.
What's your mentality when like you get overlooked or something like that, or you get dropped? Like how do you bounce back from that?
Yeah, that's a big one.
I think like a big one for me obviously was when
you're coming back from the injuries.
Coming back. So I was coming back from my injury. I think I was 21 at the time. And at that time, like that's kind of it's like it's either get an A-League contract or you go to NPL. So obviously when I didn't get the A-League contract, had to go find an NPL club. That was like a big setback for me. But for me personally, I kind of I don't know, I think everything happens for a reason. 100%. So even though I got dropped from the academy, I think there were definitely other things that opened up for me. Like but I try and just like stay true to myself, work hard, just that little stuff. Like I still, even though I'm playing NPL, like I'll still work on those little 1%ers.
There's a lot of players that go from NPL to A-League, even going overseas, right? Like
100%. So I guess you never know what happens, and I just when I look back on my career, I just want to think that or know that I've done everything
in your
possible to get like a contract or just maximize my potential in football. So that's how I kind of go about things. Yeah.
I think that's the right mentality. Like injuries are going to happen in football. Things are going to happen. It's just about how you bounce back.
100%. And I think that's when you like learn the most about yourself too. And you can grow as much as possible. Because like even I know plenty of players that are playing in the A-League now, like their paths were not like a straight line. Like it was up and down the whole time. So it's more about how you bounce back from those.
Everybody's journey is different.
100%. Yeah.
What are some goals and expectations that you have for yourself for this year?
Well, I guess this season, I just want to play as many games as possible. At APIA now, we have like quite a big squad. There's about 3 or 4 boys that don't even make the squad every week, so it's super competitive. So I just want to play as many games as possible, and then I guess see what happens from there. I think
we're back up there, bro.
I think with I'm not sure what's happening with like the Australian Championship or whatever. I think it's a bit up in the air at the moment, but if that goes ahead, I think that would be a good opportunity to like play against some of the teams from other NPLs.
That starts after the season.
So I think that starts in October. So it'll be a long season. So just try to stay fit.
That's it. I heard you scored a goal today, bro. How are you feeling after that?
No, it's good. It was actually my first start because I was coming back from like a hamstring injury. So now it's good to get a goal. We didn't win, unfortunately. We lost 4-3 to Blacktown. But it's a tough ground to go to.
This year, NPL is tough, man.
I think it's gonna I think every year it gets more competitive.
Definitely.
Like I think Spirit have won like 4 from 4. Yeah.
Spirits on they're coming first to the table.
Yeah,
Crazy,
exactly, yeah.
I thought they were a
run.
bad team. They were a good team.
Yeah.
Throwing shade.
But like, how you'll be expecting like Rockdale or Sydney or
Marconi,
Big
yeah.
Marconi, but like, nah, Spirit is like up there, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's because, like you said, the B League. Obviously, everyone's trying to find that spot.
Yeah. Because I think there's that
There's
one
that
spot.
one spot
Yeah, so
in every state.
everyone's fighting for it.
But yeah, big ups to Spirit though.
Yeah, no, they're
Blacktown
doing
City,
well.
APIA. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It's anyways, Cameron, it's been a pleasure having you.
Yeah.
Thank
No, it's
you.
been a pleasure to come on. I think I was saying to before like the MPL, I think there's a lot of social media now, like
Yeah.
podcasts and that sort of stuff on the MPL that's popped up recently, and I think it definitely deserves it. So what you guys are doing here is really good for Australian football and also the younger generation too.
Yeah.
So
Appreciate it, bro.
yeah.
Thanks for coming through.
Nah, thank
Legends.
you.
It's really been a pleasure, especially an academy player of yourself. So many experience. Thank you so much for
Nah,
coming
thank you
down.
so much.
Thanks,
I
bro.
appreciate it.
So, Iliad, do you mind telling us about yourself, I guess? What position you play? Where are you currently at?
So like I've been playing goalkeeper since I started playing soccer and park soccer, and that was when I was about 6 years old at FC Bossy.
Okay.
And since then I've progressed through the NPL league. So example, I started at Mounties. I played 2 years up on under 12s. Then I went to Bonnering in under 12s again, and then I'm here now in Dutch on the 13s.
Okay.
Nice.
How's the season going so far?
I think it's been going pretty well. I've been progressing. I've been
Yeah.
improving, and yeah,
How many clean sheets you've gotten so far?
3.
Nice.
That's good, man.
So we heard that you've got a popular Instagram page. How do you feel that that's going?
I feel like it's going pretty good. Like it gives me a bit of confidence when I'm playing. And yeah, it gives me like a sense of kind of like clarity. when I'm-
Okay, that's
What's the Instagram name?
It's Iliad.goalkeeper.
everyone go check it out.
Check that out. Iliad Goalkeeper. Check his highlight out.
Who's like a goalkeeper that's like inspired you to kind of go down that
Probably like I would say like Neuer and Gianluigi Buffon.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, hard.
I watched them a lot growing up and even now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So obviously you're young, and your goal is to go professional.
Yeah.
So what do you think is just gonna give you a bit of a hard question now? So what do you think is stopping you from going to the next step? Like,
I don't think that there's anything that can stop me.
I like that confidence.
That's a
I
great
like that
mentality.
confidence. I'm telling you. You know, that's very good, man. I love that confidence.
Yeah.
So like obviously being a player, you faced a lot of criticism, people telling you don't do this, don't do that. How do you feel about all of that? How do you handle that?
I handle it quite well because I know that like coaches are obviously like the unsung heroes of the game. They always teach you
Yeah.
everything that they make you
Yeah,
and they craft you into who you are.
yeah.
But I think that there's some stuff that you have to take and some
Yeah.
stuff they have to live. So example, like you just have to take the good stuff from it.
Yeah.
So example, if he tells you to do one thing and you know that you can do something else better, you have to do what makes you look, what's gonna get you a better club next season, what's gonna make you look better. But then again, you still have to.
Yeah.
You have to be part of a team.
Yeah.
But think about yourself and
Yeah.
what your career is
That's
kind
the
of
hard part
projecting.
about soccer, don't you think?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's all mentality, and it seems like you've got a great mentality, you know?
Yeah.
You can't let the little things get you down. And yeah, it's always just about staying positive and doing the most that you can do for yourself that you know.
Yeah.
So I think as a player, obviously, you want to be able to express yourself, but you also have to listen to the coach, and that's where the conflict comes in. You know, so you want to do certain things and then be creative, especially at this age. You're young. This is where like your creativity is going crazy right now.
Yeah.
And like obviously the coach is saying, no, don't do this, don't do that. Don't get me wrong. You have to listen to the coach.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're there for. They set tactics and everything for you to follow, right? But if you gotta express yourself sometimes, express yourself. Right? Obviously being a goalkeeper, taking risk and really
Don't want to see you dribbling up the field for sure.
taking risk and really it's not like I'm taking risk up in the midfield or anything like that. Well, you take one risk, obviously it's a different story.
Yeah.
How do you feel that like do you feel that your team trains enough, or do you always find that you want to be training or playing a little bit more than like
I
the
think
structured team?
I think that obviously, like in Australia compared to England, that we don't have like enough games. Like compared to England, like there's like 60 games in a season to compared to
Oh, you did your
Australia.
research.
There's like only 30,
Yeah.
and like the training is like completely different. So that's why I think it's vital to like never miss any trainings in
Yeah.
Australia because we're already falling behind from these other countries. And
I can
stuff.
confirm on that stat. Like England, they play 2 games a week.
Yeah.
You know, obviously here we play only 1 game, and you train like how many days you training?
3 to 2 times.
Yeah.
And they
But
train like
my
6.
question: do you do extras?
Yeah, I do extras. I do like gym sessions. I do like a bit of everything.
Yeah, that's very
Also
good.
goalkeeper training at Bosley Park TFP program. So that's another 3 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very good, man. That's very good. That's a good mentality to have.
No, I like the hunger.
Mm.
That's it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself going up in the next? Like, where do you want to see yourself the next couple of years?
Next couple of years, I want to see myself like rising up through the ranks of like an academy.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Western Sydney Wanderers.
I pray. Just keep keep working hard. Keep your confidence up, and eventually you find yourself there.
Yeah.
Have you ever had like kind of tough challenges that you've had to bounce back from?
Yeah, I've had injuries before. Like example, I've had sprained ankle, sprained wrists. Like at one point, my 3 of my fingers were like blue, and I was still playing.
Come again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's what I'm telling you.
Committed.
Goalkeeper is the toughest position.
Yeah.
These guys train non-stop. Like their training is insane.
100%.
I respect that.
What was your mentality during those injuries and stuff like that?
Like I just can't give up. Like I have to keep trying because these setbacks are only gonna make you stronger.
100%.
With every adversity, there's always gonna be like a pro.
Bro, this kid is just
Crazy
like,
mentality.
he's on
Minor
fire,
setbacks for
bro.
major
Wow.
comebacks.
You know
that's
what?
it.
Like, what's your biggest achievement so far?
My biggest achievement so far, maybe just like getting into Bosley Park and getting to WFC so far, because I think that from now, I think I'm only gonna improve from now. There's no going down.
Yeah. So every step for you is like an achievement.
Yeah.
No matter where you go.
Yeah.
That's very good. That's a strong mentality to have, man. It's like pleasure to have you right now, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, bro.
Thanks, bro. Hopefully we see you in the big league soon, huh?
You better. By force. Have to come in here. It's by force.
Now with this mentality, bro, you're going far.
100%.
I've seen a lot of kids and not many of them have this mentality like you do.
Yeah.
And like mentality goes a long way in soccer. Soccer is a mental sport, it's a psychological sport. And if you have this right now, you're going to go places. Remember, don't lose yourself. That's the main key right now. Your creativity, the older you get, eventually when you become older, that's going to go away. Because after so many coaches tell you what to do and stuff, but remember, just have confidence, have your confidence, know who you are, know your position, and I'm telling you, you're going somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, Iliad, I'll catch you later, my bro.
Thank you.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate the chat.
Thank you more.
Jack, welcome to YBTV. You
It's-
want to give us like a little bit of background about yourself?
Yep. I'm a father of 2 kids.
Yeah.
Fortunately, one of my the older child gave up on soccer a long time ago, and it was life lessons what not to do with my second one, and the journey has put us where we are right now with the second one. He's very passionate. I'm passionate. The family's passionate, but there's a lot of lessons learned that we have to adhere to. There's a lot of matters that you can't experience unless you're in the journey.
Yeah, I agree.
So I've came to this. You know, it's my privilege to be here to this wonderful platform, share some of my lessons learned and contribute to the wider platform and other people to learn from it.
Appreciate it. What would you say has been like, I guess, the emotional impact of supporting your child's career and growth in football in Australia?
I think the most impact that happens is we all want our children to be someone somewhere successful. It's measuring the expectations and being realistic with those expectations. Every child wants to be something.
Yeah.
Every father, every mother wants to enable that child to be that. However, the reality is not that easy.
Yeah.
There's multiple elements involved into success. You might have the skills, but not be at the right time, right place. You might have no skills, but you're at the right time and you get that opportunity and you propel through. I will say that the major emotional impact in all of this is probably, and how to deal with it, is that is you got to deal with it without a structure.
Yeah.
Deal it day by day.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be an element in place where things will happen and there's no answer for it. You just got to weigh yourself in it and give it a best shot.
Yeah,
There's never a wrong answer. There's never,
Yeah,
with kids, there's never a wrong answer. You just got to protect the mind state, psychological state of the children.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
Yeah.
100%.
So as you mentioned before that you had a son that obviously went through the football system in Australia and eventually gave up on football. And now you got a rising kid coming up. So as a parent, like, what is your perspective on the football organization in Australia?
I will talk about past tense in terms of what my older son went through. It's very emotional for me.
Yeah.
He was very passionate. He loved the sport, did everything, but I think he got cut short on empathy. Sometimes people in those positions are not very careful in how they convey their message to kids.
Yeah.
What I always say is that it's not the intention that counts; it's the actual result and how it's received. In our instance, unfortunately for my son, we went on a holiday. He was fantastic, did everything. When you go on a holiday, we put on some weight, 4 or 5 kilos, and came back, and they told him, "Sorry, you're too chubby." Straight out to him. And children have a lot of they're very image orientated.
Yeah.
They're much more now, but can you imagine years back? It wasn't as bad. So, but it was enough for him to basically say, you know what? If I'm not good enough for them, I'll find something that I'm good at, something else.
Yeah.
It's toll.
That's what it did. And what I always say is that when you're conveying a message to an adult, the impact is significant. However, to a child that is developing, that doesn't have the mechanisms in place to
change the whole direction.
Correct, to absorb it and deal with it, it's much more impactful to them.
Yeah.
And you have to be much more careful how you convey a message.
Yeah.
Even if you have a good intention, it's how it's received, and having the ability to read how it's received is more important than actually the content that you're delivering or message you're trying to convey to a child.
Yeah. And going off that, how would you say that, I guess, how can coaches sort of encourage without adding too much pressure?
I think there's multiple elements. Anyone that conveys a message with the notion to make someone change, improve, adapt, is that intention is one thing.
Yeah.
However, you got to read how it's received.
Yeah.
Body language. Has the attitude changed? Has the perception changed from that particular child? That's very vital. I have to say, for the record, no one intends to make a child feel bad.
Of course.
It's purely just the mechanisms that they utilize are sometimes not effective. So what is the solution to that? Well, we have to develop mechanisms that actually provide results. I'm sharing my story because that's what happened with my older son. And I don't think it was intended bad, but it got a bad result.
Yeah, 100%.
And when a child at that age gets that message and feels like they're not good enough, no one can bring him back again.
Yeah. So how do you balance encouragement without adding pressure, especially during setbacks like injuries or dropbacks or being dropped?
I think the best aspect to manage those situations is to be positively orientated, to be realistic, not to over exaggerate. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be this. Just say, we're going through an issue right now. Let's see how we're gonna apply solutions in place to find a solution. But nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse for a child than to give him a fake assurance. This is where people fail a lot. To tell a child everything's gonna be okay, that child's gonna remember that. And when the result's supposed to come, they wait for that result, they don't get the result. The impact it's much more
Yeah, for sure.
harder on them because now they say you lied to me. The system
Yeah,
lied to me,
honesty
and then you
is-
lose them. You lose them.
Yeah, you have to be honest.
You have to be
before
honest.
Everything else.
But that's what I said.
100%.
The being able to convey a message and read the actual aspect of how the child is receiving the message, whether it be from a father to a son, mother to a son, a coach to a son, to a player, is you got to be able to read how that every child's different. Different demographic, different cultural backgrounds. There's no one application that applies for everyone. This is why those people in those power hold a lot of sensitive responsibility.
Definitely.
Because that child will be shaped as an adult.
Yep.
If he wasn't made good enough, when he does become good enough at something else, he will hold that back. He won't forgive or forget it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
that
it's
kids
a
don't forget.
repeating notion.
Yeah. Just touching on like I guess your experience being a parent of a child in the footballing academy system in Australia, how would you say that I guess the cost of pay to play we spoke about that last week, how has that kind of impacted you?
It's significant. It's significant. The reality is this: there's a lot of kids. There's a lot of kids out there that should be in major clubs, without mentioning ranks and whatever. The reality is that they don't get there because mum and dad are in a financial situation where they can't afford that. And unfortunately, in Australian football, we have kids that are going through a system. Is there because mum and dad are financially able to accommodate that, while others that don't have that, they never get a chance to be scouted, to be scoped. Yes,
It closes the pool of players, potential players.
and
just off
that has a major impact. As people progress through the senior careers, we're actually not targeting. We're not getting the right pool of people. That's not to say. That's not to say. Correct.
The whole group.
Correct.
Who's the most talented?
The reality is this: at the moment, the model is set up as you pay to play. Can you imagine if there was an authority that said, you know what, for the next 3 years we will allow on merit a selection process where we'll give every children. Doesn't matter what your background is, what your status is, if you're a troublemaker, not troublemaker. Let's give everyone a chance. Maybe we're going to change this child. Instead of going on the street, hooning around, we will give you opportunity to become something that you love and become part of and getting an ownership. I mean, a lot of people talk about joining the crime life because no one's giving them a chance. No one's giving them to be part of a family.
And guidance. And
But no one's actually looked into the broader picture.
So now if academic doesn't work, sports is also been taken away from them.
So then it's a crime.
Exactly.
It's a crime by association and not by choice.
How do you think that the travel to games and stuff like that has impacted you?
Travel is a major issue. Anyone holding a full-time job, it'll be very hard unless you have some sort of security in your employment to actually go and attend trainings. You got to understand NPL. From NPL, I think from NPL 3 up until NPL 1 in youths, most clubs train 3 to 4 times. Sometimes a 5th day is on academy. 6th day it's the actual game day. That's 6 days. 6 days. If people can put that much effort in 6 hours over the durative hours, that's a full income. So not only they're losing money paying for it, they're not losing money. Sorry, it's money that it's costing them. But it's actually big disadvantage because if they can go drive around, go get Uber, deliver food or something, without mentioning any company. Sorry, it's just that it is a major issue. It is a major issue, and the problem is the way the demographic set up in our country here is there's not many local clubs. So most of the clubs will be 20, 40 minutes, an hour. I know people that travel 2.5 hours each day. I know people that go from Central Coast all the way to Sydney.
I had to go to MacArthur.
So, but you got no choice. And then if you pay those contract fees, you agree to a club. I understand that works in the first graders, and et cetera. But at the youth level, there's too much lockage for a child. So if you pay that, somehow you come up with the funds. It's not easy for me, believe me. It's not easy for no parent, I would say. No one has money lying around. We're all struggling. It's a financial crisis.
To afford to pay the pay-to-pay system, and then also drop off kids, and then like they're not gonna have enough time to go make money to pay. Like I felt like I experienced that a little bit because my parents, they're hardworking, but they weren't able to come to my games. They weren't able to take me to my games. I had to figure out how to get from my game to myself. I was at a point I was riding my bike to get like from Darling just to go to Arlington Oval.
Yeah.
From Stanmore station, I was riding my bike, you know.
And there's nothing more pleasing than when mum and dad are watching you on the stand.
For sure.
And you make a or you save a goal, or you score a goal,
They
and you
had
look
to
at
make
mum
a
and dad and say,
sacrifice, you know?
I did it for you.
They have to go to work so they can help pay for my fees, you know. That's just the sacrifices that a lot of parents have to face in this system.
And on top of that, unfortunately, a lot of kids fall short, not because of the skill.
Yeah.
It's because of the commitment is just too much. People forget but what people don't, when you go, to understand the context out of the cost associated with the youth journey for a child, it's not just the fees.
Yeah.
Traveling, food on the go,
Yeah.
uniforms, accessories, bottles, gloves, boots.
I guess all of that comes down to financial costs. So like,
But when you combine it, people say it's only a small amount,
yeah.
or it's amount that you can factor in. It's not. It's an open amount. And a child goes in a team. He's a good player. Every kid has $300 shoes. Here you go and get him a $50 shoes. They got to point out to him, why do you have $50 shoes? Your son comes back to you. You're not going to say no. Yeah. You're going to still dig deep in your pockets and find a way not to be. See how we live in a society where your monetary financial status enables you to be a footballer or to be a sportsman. And that's something that is not, projected out there. The reality is a lot of people succeed because of the financial backing.
Yeah.
And that is a fact.
100%.
That is a fact. That's not to say that people don't succeed.
Yeah.
But the more likely to succeed, I'm talking in percentile perspective.
Yeah.
You're more likely to succeed if you have that financial stability.
I mean, if you want to go play Europe, you got to pay for your flight. You got to pay for your hotel. You got to.
I can't afford going to Europe and playing flight. But it's not just that. Let's just say our child needs to pay. From what I've heard from other parents, is from my wife and etc. $10,000-$15,000. That's just for the child.
Yeah.
Now a parent would love to see the kid overseas. So accommodation for them, another $5,000 maybe. That's $20,000. You're already overseas. For those period of time that you're there, you're not getting an income.
Yeah, that's right.
So you got to add that on top. So I don't know many people that have $20,000, $30,000 laying around
and can sacrifice the time.
Sacrifice for potential opportunity.
That's right. So how would you say, or what would you like to see clubs doing to support parents?
So what changes would you see? Would you like to see?
I think one of the best changes that can happen is to give everyone a go. What I said before is that we have youths that, yes, they've gone on the street, done stupid things, but they all deserve a chance. Maybe offer some spots like scholarships, I see. Out of this 20, 30 people that we sign off, every 30 people, 2 of them will do the fee will be waived based on merit.
But do you think that the Australian government could also help in this department? Like, obviously, clubs have sponsors, but the club can't pay for everyone in the club. So this is where I feel like the Australian government can come in.
Yeah, I think it's more not the guy. It's the association, the football association.
Yeah,
so where the football association can see a cause, a potential benefit from that. So it goes on. I mean, the way I would see it from my obstacles is that what is the purpose of a cause? What is the benefit of that cause? What is expected result out of that? Not just benefit. So we have kids that have the skills that unfortunately mum and dad are in a financial situation where they don't have that monetary financial stability to give it to them.
Yeah.
They don't make it at school. They don't make it at soccer. They just go on the streets. Easy option. So the benefit out of that is you keep kids off the street. At least some kids that will share the stories and probably embrace other kids.
Yeah, that's what I'd love to see is football giving.
Imagine a child says, I went and got done on juvenile I don't know how it works, but let's just say I got done something. I've done something stupid. I've had police a couple of times at me, and I've changed my life. I was given an opportunity at this particular club, and within 2 years, I felt part of a family. I'm a captain now. Shares that story with the peers that are actually still on the street.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna go, there is a way out. A lot of people that actually go and don't succeed or don't strive to be a better human beings is because they've been told, you know what, it's not gonna happen for you. I'm telling you from experience. But if you change that aspect of, yes, there is a chance. But in order to say there is a chance, clubs can do that. Clubs can say, you can't expect the clubs to change the whole demographic around it, but simple things like that. Say out of every 30 spots, we will offer 2 spots. That's going to be fee free.
That's a big difference.
Bring kids in, try them out. Doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter what color you are, what nationality, what culture you are. Doesn't matter your criminal record as long as it's within legal sense. Give him a go. If he has the capacity, capability, embrace it. You're not going to change just that child. You're going to change that child's journey that led him to there. That's going to affect other kids. Because the only thing that makes kids or adults go sour is when they know there's no option out of it.
Lacking opportunity.
Correct. When if you're stuck in a room and that's sealed, you're not getting out, you're gonna give up. But if someone tells you there's a chance, if you keep walking into that door, after 50, 60 times, maybe 100, you will open. You know what's gonna happen? Someone's gonna walk 200 times.
Yeah,
and they will make it through.
100%.
But you gotta open that way for them.
Yeah, like let it be known that there's pathways. Pathway to something else. Just touching on how do you think that the clarity of, I guess, the process for kids going through academies and stuff like that, like for their pathways, how do you feel like that is kind of communicated to parents?
I think from financial sense or from commitment sense?
I think just like in general.
Yeah, in
like,
general.
In general, well, there's 2 compounds. There's financial sense, there's a commitment sense as well.
Like clubs, do clubs provide you information on where the steps your son or daughter could take to go to the next level?
Yeah. I can speak of my experience for my 2 kids.
Please.
We were not actually, I've heard a lot of horror stories. And I'm sure everyone has Facebook these days. Every 5 seconds we hear someone sharing the stories. For my kids, I haven't heard that. We were never told this is the academy you have to go. But it is the norm out there, I think. A lot of clubs do that from what people are saying on the social media. And it's probably not the right way to do things. A child should be purely selected on skills. An academy should be an addition to that skill. If you select a child, you're happy with its skills. Academy compound should only be there to excel that child, but not to sustain his worth of that in that club. Once we start to mix those 2 elements, then, well, it's a trap, isn't it? Come to this, but you got to join here to be here.
We're wrapping it up, apparently.
Man, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
It was an amazing conversation, man.